What's going on, my beautiful people from YouTube? Let's talk decentralized storage. Let's compare all companies and find where the opportunity is, because I got a miner, and the reason I got a miner is because the numbers just make sense. I want to show you exactly how each company compares to the other, and that's going to be point number one. Point number two is going to be the unboxing of that unit that's right behind me. And point number three is going to be a little, insight as to why I think the opportunity here is ginormous and people are missing it. I guess you can say there's a ton of opportunity here, and I don't want any of you to miss out. So let's start this off by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And I don't usually do this at the beginning of my videos, but I'll do it today. Leave a comment down below, and if you include, passive income, I'm gonna make sure try something new, see if this works easier to sort things. But if you include passive income in your text, I'll make sure to both reply to your comments as well as do a drawing for a giveaway on the next video, like I always do here on the channel. So jumping right into it, and this is going to be a good video when you have a slideshow to go along with it. So this is what we're talking about: decentralized storage stats and finding those opportunities, like I was talking about. So these, you kind of have to know the data storage units. I'm going to go through this super quick, and I'm try to keep it simple. So get the bit. From bit you go to byte. From bytes you go to kilobyte. Then you go to megabyte. We don't use these anymore. They're too tiny for us nowadays. We're too fancy for that. This is where we're living in this day and age. So 1,000 megabytes is a gigabyte, then 1,000 gigabytes is a terabyte, 1,000 terabytes, petabytes, and then to exabytes with 1,000 petabytes there. Now, keep in mind that this is like how you're going to see things online, but it's not necessarily this way because you're dealing with 8 bits, and when you're doing the multiplication by 8, these are the real numbers, so just give you a sense of how big this thing actually is. So 1,024 gigabytes equals a terabyte, and then a whole lot other numbers, just so you get to see the length of this thing. That's why I want to put it on the screen. So jumping right into this chart, which is really confusing and a bunch of numbers, and I personally have trouble with. I do want to break this down even further to where you're not looking at these numbers and going, wait, what? And this is what I want to show you. Like, finding opportunity sometimes doesn't always mean just staring at numbers. You need to actually rationalize, what does it all mean? And you can see that if you look at the top line, Filecoin, I mean, it's kicking butt. Look at the market cap on it. Like, it's 7 billion, 7.2 billion. That's huge. The storage capacity on that they have is tremendous. It's so huge, and they are hosting more than anybody else, and that's, I guess you can say, impressive, right? Right. I agree, it's impressive. But is there opportunity in this? Should you get into Filecoin and just jump on the bandwagon with everybody else? I don't think so. And I mention this all the time. I love competition because it's not always the first person to do something. Sometimes it's the person that comes along and does it better. And I mean, that's what competition does, right? It drives others to do more and become better. And I talk about that all the time here on the channel. So I want to put into a few little charts, and I'm just going to break these numbers down and show you what I see from this whole thing. So when you're talking about storage capacity, it wasn't even worth including this, the Filecoin, the entire thing, because it was just too big of a number. It just keeps on going. But this is what it looks like. Filecoin is definitely way, way bigger than everybody else. And then storage, ScPrime, SIA, and then you guys are going to see the last little one there. They have 1 terabyte available, 31 terabytes available. I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to pretend they're not even there because don't want to waste you guys' time, but let's keep going. Here's what they're using, right? So first we saw how much space they had. Now this is how much they're using. And again, if you look at Filecoin, it's like way out there. Then you have storage, then you have SIA, then you have ScPrime. And that last one, which is basically 100% usage. And it's hard to visualize some things. So I like making sure that we can do things side by side. So this is what it looks like. And to me, these numbers are still a little bit complicated. You can see the number of terabytes used versus the number of terabytes that they have for storage availability. And this, to me, doesn't necessarily paint a good picture. I think that you need to do a little bit of math, and that's exactly what I did. So if we look at percentages, how much are they using on their network, right? So with Filecoin, 0.3%, it's like nothing. They have plenty of space, and people are just not utilizing as much space as they have available. When it comes to storage, you got 62%. And anytime you see a number definitely, getting close to that 50%, you kind of go, wait, are they going to be sustainable? Are they going to run out of space? Like, that's always my concern. ScPrime, I love the number 2%. And there's a reason for that. And I'll show you that why in just a minute. SIA is hitting that 41% mark. And I don't think you can see it. Let me move myself over. That's 100%. So the storage they have is the storage they're using, which is kind of crazy. So I'm just going to ignore that one for right now. So with all these numbers, you would expect something, to make sense when it comes to their market cap and how much of that, the allocation of funds basically go into these different projects. But it's not always that way. And that's really key for everyone to understand, because that's how you find the opportunity, right? Take a look at this. So 7.2 billion, like I said before, we saw that on the chart. And all these numbers are from November 29th, 2021, just so you guys are aware. Arweave is sitting at almost 3 billion, which again, to me, does not make a lot of sense. SIA is 1.28 billion. Storage is 412 million. And then you have ScPrime sitting at a tiny 38 million. That's the opportunity right there, that 38 million, because I think there's a lot of room for growth. And people are going to say I'm crazy for saying this. Again, it's not financial advice. Please do your own research. I'm just trying to give you the things that I'm seeing and the numbers that I'm looking at and why this makes sense to me. ScPrime, to me, can definitely be one of those coins at 100x by the numbers. Like, just what they're doing just to me makes a lot of sense that it can go that high. It sounds a little bit wild at first glance, but that's where I'm at with it. Because if you see, Filecoin is at 7.2 billion, and they're not being utilized, anywhere near what they can be. And if you just look at the numbers, it makes sense. And I had a trouble when I first saw the numbers and I looked at the charts, but there's a better way to go about it, right? Because if you look at this, if you look at what's going on here, you're like, oh, okay, this makes absolutely no sense. It's too many numbers. Why would you want ScPrime in comparison to these other ones? Well, there are people like better than me on the internet. Go figure, right? Like, I'm not the know-all and end all to things, which is actually I love, because the buck doesn't always stop with me. I get to actually pick other people's brains. And this is what I want to show you right here. Take a look at this chart. And again, my screen is on the right. I'll push it to the left. You see how there's it doesn't make sense that 2.97 billion for Arweave. I'm just going to put myself over that one. But if you take a look at what's going on here, so you have Filecoin with that ginormous market cap, and that's why I want to show you that graph for the market caps, because it's 7.2 billion. That's a lot. And you go down to storage, 412 million for their market cap. You have ScPrime with 8.33 of storage, and it only has a market cap of 38 million. And there's a reason behind it, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But this is the opportunity that I don't think a lot of people are seeing, and you can easily miss it if you're just looking at a chart that looks like this with a bunch of numbers. But once you see these numbers represented a different way on screen, ScPrime to me becomes the hands down winner, not only because of their, the capacity that they have, the space that they're able to provide, but the features that are coming with this product, to me, is everything. And I can talk about numbers all day, and I'm not going to do that because I don't want to bore anybody. I want to make sure I get right to the point. This is what the chart looks like right now. So let's go all. So these guys have been around for a little while. The chart started on February 2020, and it was sitting at, what is this here? 1.8 cents. And today it's at 62 cents. So there's a 65x, roughly, 60x roughly right there. But I think that this year is only the beginning, because they haven't even really started. And I've shown you guys this before, but if you're ever wondering, oh, where can I buy this token? I'm on CoinMarketCap right now. Just scroll down and it's going to show you the markets and where they're available. So Probit, and you see the volume, there's not a lot of volume there. You can only buy about $400 worth, safely, I guess you can say. So the best way to go about it is looking at what has a decent volume. And obviously, we can jump onto South Exchange. You guys are wondering about South Exchange. They are not very big. They are, I believe, from Argentina, and this is what they look like. And it's funny if you look at different exchanges and the way that they'll graph things. And I want to use these guys as an example. You can take a look at this one. So this is the chart for SCP and Bitcoin. And you can see that it shows that it's a negative 7% basically right there. Anytime there are pairs, you need to keep in consideration the price of each thing. So if the price of Bitcoin dropped like overnight, it would make this chart look great because it's all of a sudden going, oh, hey, this is worth more. Now, what I like to do is actually try to find a pair that will make a little bit more sense financially. Like this is the USDT pair. Not that I buy USDT, but it shows a 13% increase instead. So it doesn't get updated as often as the BTC one, but it gives you a better sense of what the token is actually doing in my mind. Just because when you're dealing with pairs with Bitcoin, it's a little bit hard to understand. Okay, so does this mean that Bitcoin went down, or does it mean that this token went up? So this makes life a little bit easier when you're looking at a token. So like I said before, it's sitting in that 62-cent mark, and I think this is only the beginning. And let me just go to the next tab, and this is the unit that I'm talking about. So let me just skip over to the unboxing, show you what you get in your box, and I'll come back and I'll show you the little nuances that why this is so huge in my book. This is the box, and I'm going to speed things up so we're not here all day. Got this thing open. All right, lots of peanuts, and let me pull it out. So this is what you expect in the bigger box. You get a smaller box. It's a box in a box, but let me get rid of all this stuff and show you what's inside this box. And it is, I guess, smaller than I thought it was going to be, but this is it. This is the miner, and there's not a lot to it, just the way I like it. I mean, we do want plug and play options, and this is definitely plug and play option in my book. It comes with an external power adapter, which is nice. If that ever dies, you don't have to deal with the unit itself. You just swap that out. But let me pop this plastic open. Here we go. It's nice and not scratched or full of peanuts because they do wrap it nice and tight with that plastic. Now, here's where I decided to say, you know what? Let me see these drives. Are they hot swappable? Are they easy to open or not? So let me give this a shot and open one of these guys up. And what do we have inside? And now I'm really excited because I just realized that these are enterprise grade Seagate drives. So let me pop them all out, make sure that it wasn't a fluke, and they're all really nice drives the way I thought they were going to be. Yep, this is awesome. And they're really easy to, put in and take out. So it's a nice build. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed with what they've done here in this small form factor. And now that's where I realized there's a Noctua fan, and I'm pretty sure it's a Noctua fan. And let me fast forward the unscrewing, and here we go. Confirming my suspicion. Cherry on top. Premium fan inside of this miner. That's what I like to see. They're putting work into it when you see this happen. So pumped about this one. I know, right? That's what we like. It's simple. It's plug and play. You put in the power, you put in the Ethernet, and you kind of get going with it. And I'm going to definitely do a video dedicated to the setup just because I haven't seen any decent videos out there. And I want to make sure I give it the time that it deserves. But talking about the miners themselves, and I know I'm going to get this question. They're going to go, oh, Action, why? I'm going to do this. Action, why are you selling us to buy this thing or you bought this thing when I can't get it myself? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm actually excited about the project. So if you even buy the coin, the token, I think it's still worthwhile. Not financial advice. I'm telling you again, as I always do, what I'm doing. And if it benefits you, happy day. But yeah, I mean, if you go to the website, and I'll share my screen again so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, you're going to see, like I just went to the products, and you can see all of these say, read more, read more, read more. This makes me excited because it tells me that this company is not out there going, you know what, we're just going to sell unlimited amounts and we'll call it back ordered and we'll make people wait 4 to 6 months like some other people do. And if you're not into other types of mining, cough, cough, helium, you might not understand what this is, but this is how people operate. They're literally taking people's money and then not providing a product for months on end. And I think that's really bad business practices. So I purchased mine. I was lucky enough to they had gotten some stock, and I purchased mine, and I got it. It was about less than a week later I had it, which is phenomenal. That's the way that business should be conducted. This is the way that I think crypto should move forward. But many people don't get that. Many people don't see that. So they actually announced today that they were fulfilling back orders, and their back order is basically a wait list. So if you can't buy it, it's on a wait list. So all you got to do is fill out your email. They're going to email you and say, hey, we have units available. So use the code ACTION when you're checking out. Totally kidding. There's no code ACTION, but they should set that up. Maybe they will set it up by the time you guys are able to buy this thing. But let me go a little bit further and show you why I think that there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. This is the ScPrime website. By the way, the purchasing website for these miners, it's going to be xaminer.net. But for ScPrime itself, it talks about what they are, what they do. If you scroll down, and these numbers are actually going up. You know, I told you, like, we're at 9.5 PBs right now. That's higher than the numbers I showed you previously. So the network is definitely going up. So it increased by a petabyte, basically, you know, over the last 13 days, 13, 14 days in 2 weeks, which is pretty awesome. You can see that this, you know, curve is getting super, super steep. And like, I don't know how to say this, but now's the time. Get in while it's early. It's the way I'm looking at this. And you can see that their network usage is, you know, going up and down, up and down. Right now, they're sitting at 300 terabytes. And you're always like, wait, why are they sitting at only 300 terabytes? Well, this is new. This is fresh. And here's how you go into figuring out how things work. So if you click on provide storage right on the homepage here, it's going to bring you to this. Okay, ScPrime storage providers incentives gives you a little breakdown, talks about how their incentives, like if you follow the guidelines, guidelines are pretty straightforward. Stay online. Don't tinker with your unit. Make sure that you're providing storage. Like, that's the most important thing. Stay online. Stay online. And they're going to have different ways for people to earn money long term. Now, I'll make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. But right now, they're doing free space and they're doing used space. So how much space do you have available? How much space do you know, is getting used up? Now, they do have continuous time and service multiplier, not in use yet, location, performance, and auditability. Full disclosure, and I'll tell you guys this right now, I had a conversation for about 45 minutes with the person who started it all, and I'm going to share that interview with you guys. I just want to make sure I introduce you to the project and you can see what it's all about. But Kenneth is awesome, like super down to earth dude. Showed off his guitar, but you know, trying to put me to shame, but that's okay. He gets it. Like, it's not like he just jumped onto this and go, let's go make some money. No, it's like, hey, I've had this problem. This is an increasing problem. Let me try to provide a solution. And you can, like, he told me straight out some of the things that make them unique. And I was super pumped about it. What he doesn't know is actually, I found out about this even before he disclosed it to me, because if you go on to their document, so this is, you know, the documentation page, website, and you go to storage provider right there, and under storage provider, you're going to have a bunch of links, guides on how to do it, but specifically, here's what I want to know. Like, okay, so let's talk about earnings, right? Because that's the most important thing. So if you go to their page here, you go to earnings, you're going to see that, you know, they have earnings under their document. So storage provider, then earnings. Well, and you scroll down because you want to go to the bold thing. So rent, this is how you make money, incentives, how it works, but provide expectations. And we missed the most important part that I think a lot of people are going to miss. If you go up to this portion, there's a note. This note basically tells you that after January 18th, we're going to kick butt. So they're going to be providing their service through a company called XANet Services. And this company will launch on January 18th, 2022. This is why I'm saying we're basically, you know, about a month away from this thing launching. And I looked them up and figure out, hey, what's going on with this? And if you look them up, you're going to find this website. And, you know, it's object-based cloud services coming soon. And you try to click on things and, you know, pricing doesn't take you anywhere. It doesn't do much. Except for beta trials. Beta trials, the page is up. And here's what it says. We're looking for early access users to try the service, basically. And here's the catch. I don't want to call it a catch, but this is the piece that makes me go, oh, that's interesting. If you currently use AWS S3 or any S3 compatible cloud, sign up and help us out. People are coming into the space and saying, we're going to revolutionize what's going on here, which is cool, but that's not how you acquire mass adoption. What these guys are doing that I think some people miss, the numbers make sense already, even if I don't even include this piece, but this is like the big deal to me. They are making things compatible with Amazon Web Services. And Amazon Web Services is who dominates the web right now. So if you're using something that's deployed on S3, AWS S3, you're going to be able to port that over to the system. And the cost is going to be lower because, AWS just price gouges people because of all their infrastructure. It's really expensive, by the way. If you guys aren't aware, it's really expensive for Amazon to run these things because they spend as much money on cooling as they do on the actual infrastructure of the, storage and things like that, just because it generates a lot of heat and they're packing these things up into some crazy, tight spots, and they got to cool it out, cool the whole thing down. And the prices are astronomical, and people love AWS because of what they're able to provide, but they also don't really like them because of how expensive it becomes. And this is a solution in my mind that's going to really make it easy because they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're not going out there and saying, hey, guess what? You're going to have to deploy things in a new way. No, they're like, you have this thing, just port it over. We're going to provide you the storage at a lower price, and you're going to be able to essentially use whatever you're using now. That's how you win people over. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen from this platform is that, yeah, they're small, but they haven't even started. They're growing rapidly, as you saw on that chart. The space that they're providing is like growing exponentially right now. And they're going to make it available for people that are currently on AWS, which covers most of the internet right now. Like, even if you're like in a third party, oh, I just have this type of hosting. Well, guess what? You might actually be on AWS and you don't even know it. There's just so many opportunities. And I'll be sure to post that interview that I did with Kenneth because we nerded out for a little while. And I just thought it was the coolest thing to have a chance to actually talk about the stuff that he's doing and how, S3 based file storage is where everybody is at. And by taking advantage of systems that already exist, this is going to propel them forward. And that's why I say 100x is easily doable for this project. And why I got myself a miner, why I went on, what was that exchange called again? That was, South Exchange, and I bought tokens because I see I see, I guess you can see, it's not even I see the light, I just see the opportunity, and I don't want to miss this one. So I will keep you guys posted on what's going on. I'm going to share earnings. I'm going to share everything that's going on as far as my mining is concerned when it comes to these guys. But smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you haven't done so yet. And if you haven't left that comment down below, this is a good time to do so as well, because, wow, I'm going to play this little outro before I come back on, and this is just perfect timing. So I will see you guys on the next video. You all are phenomenal. Thank you so much. And I do have some more news in just a minute. Here we go. When it comes to, I guess, a little bit more personal news, the raffle thing that I, thought about is happening. All the proceeds are going to go to benefit, Boys and Girls Clubs, make sure they have a good Christmas. I was able to secure a Pico from the Deeper Network. I was able to secure at least one H&T miner. Seed Studios actually hooking it up. Fast Miners is taking care of a bunch of stuff as well. I got Flex watches, I got NFTs to give away, so the list is growing, and we're going to keep the raffle cheap so that people can get in. So that's the plan, that's the goal here. But I got to do a giveaway because I said I would on the last video. So share my screen. That was the video that I talked to you guys about Veritas and his nerdy channel, which I love to watch. And I'm going to duplicate users. I'm going to filter those, get my YouTube comments, and we have 102 possible winners. And hopefully it's not spam. I need to restart seeing you. Pedro calling me out. I know, man, it's been tough. And for the ones of you that I'm going to pick another winner just because it didn't answer the question here. But Pedro, here's what's going on. I'm working construction while I'm doing all this stuff. And stock is so fast. Yep, Gabriel. Hey, Gabriel Garcia. Head on over to the Discord. This is a question that I wanted to know. Like, does it feel like things are going slower or faster for you in the crypto markets? And that's really the way it works. And I thought that was so appropriate on that Veritas video talking about time and how things go up and down for us, and it all depends on the way we look at it. But I'm gonna start ranting. I'm gonna go finish this video, get it posted, and I'm gonna start working on the next one because I want to try to give you guys a video every day for the next 12 days. That should be fun. Let's see if I can make this happen. Today's the 12th. Let's make it all the way until Christmas. Oh, I don't know if I want to make this a promise, but it's gonna be a goal. We're goal setting right now, so let's make this happen. Thank you all so much for the love and support. You guys are phenomenal. I really appreciate all you do for me in this channel and helping other people out, because I do believe it goes a long way. Thank you so much. I'll see you all on the next one. Take care.